Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times at the light bulb before he got it right. When someone asked him how it felt to fail so many times, Edison replied, "I didn't fail. I just found 1,000 ways it didn't work." Without those failures, we might still be in the dark. Like Edison, many of us have failed at something. Maybe you didn't make the soccer team. Maybe that first date didn't go so well. Or maybe you even bombed a public speaking assignment. It hurts, right? But here's the truth. Failure might be one of the best things that's ever happened to you. Today, I want to convince you that failure doesn't define success. It refines it. See, the problem is we live in a world that's obsessed with winning. Social media only shows the highlights, the perfect grades, the dream job, the championship trophy. But what we don't see are the countless mistakes, rejections, and sleepless nights that go behind those victories. Failure matters because as humans, we're built to adapt, grow, and survive. Every strength you have today comes from generations of resilience. And your brain is no exception. It's wired to learn, to struggle, and to overcome. A 2011 study published by the Journal of Neuroscience found that when we make mistakes, the striatum and prefrontal cortex in our brain actually light up with activity. In that moment, the brain is literally rewiring itself, adjusting, learning, and preparing to do better for next time. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the process that shapes it. Failure teaches us what success can't. By failing, you learn your limits and how to move past them. Every time you make a mistake, you come one step closer to succeeding. Now, I'd like to hit a little closer to home. When LaVell Edwards became BYU's head football coach in 1972, BYU was not the powerhouse it is today. Some may say it's because they didn't have players like Bear. The girls will say it's because they didn't have Chase Roberts. But regardless of what players LaVell lacked, he faced years of struggle building the program. At the time, BYU had only won one conference championship in decades. Most people didn't see BYU as a football school at all. BYU also had to recruit players that would live up to the honor code and the school standards, meaning they missed out on many national prospects. Additionally, many players also served two-year missions, meaning they came back not only older, but out of shape, something many coaches saw as a disadvantage. But instead of copying what other teams were doing, LaVell embraced BYU's uniqueness and learned from early defeats to create a new type of program. He developed an innovative passing offense, a strategy using the smaller, less athletic players as a strength for their speed, precision, and creativity. He focused on leadership and character, seeing returned missionaries as a strength for their discipline and maturity. He used setbacks as learning tools, turning close losses into motivation. Players said that after defeat, LaVell was calm, analytical, and always focused on growth rather than blame. Because of that, BYU became known for its quarterback excellence, producing stars like Steve Young and Ty Detmer. And in 1984, the Cougars won a national championship, a once unthinkable achievement. LaVell learned and taught that steady perseverance turns repeated failure into enduring success, a core principle still taught at BYU and in Latter-day Saint culture today. Those are the traits that make successful people stay successful. Our society often treats failure like something to be ashamed of, something to avoid at all costs. In school, failing at a test feels like the end of the world, and trust me, I've been there. But in reality, it should be seen as a positive thing. Feedback that your brain's saying, hey, you missed something here. Here's your chance to improve. Imagine if we looked at failure that way, not as a final judgment, but as a stepping stone. Now, I'm not saying we should want to fail or stop caring about it, but we should redefine what failure means. Instead of seeing it as a loss, see it as learning. Instead of feeling embarrassed, feel motivated. Every time you fail, you're collecting data, and that information is gold if you use it. So, what can we do as people, as students, to change how we view failure? First, stop comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. Everyone struggles. They just don't post it. Second, start reflecting on your mistakes instead of avoiding them. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And finally, be brave enough to try new things you might fail at. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. The author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, was rejected by 12 publishers before one said yes. She states, "It's impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well have not lived at all. So don't fear failure. Use it. Learn from it. Because failure isn't the end of your story. It's the plot twist that makes success possible." Thank you.